Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. On this video, I will be driving around the city of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Now, I would say about a couple of years or so ago, I've done a video of Fort Wayne, Indiana. On that video, I drove through downtown and I drove through some of the older communities closer to town on that video. So there is pieces of information that I put on that video that I will not be repeating on this particular video. So feel free to go back and watch those videos of Fort Wayne, Indiana. And I believe before I made if I can remember correctly, I made like 2 or 3 videos of Fort Wayne, Indiana about a couple of years ago. So all those videos are on the channel, so go check them out. But I figure since my Fort Wayne videos did fairly well, I mean, you know, I thought since I was back up here in Indiana for a little bit to visit some friends and family and all that, I would go ahead and drive through Fort Wayne real quick and drop another couple of videos. Now, so anyhow, let's get on with the video. Now, Fort Wayne, Indiana is located in the northeast section of Indiana, close to the Michigan state line. It is located in Allen County. Now, the population of Fort Wayne, Indiana is 272,398 people. Now, you do got a few YouTubers out here that have done YouTube videos telling people where they should move and what places are growing and where people are moving the most to. And on a couple of those channels, they've had Fort Wayne on their list. Now, the truth of the matter, at least according to the data, Fort Wayne, yes, it is growing, but it's only growing at a rate of 3.4% as of the 2020 census. So people are not exactly kicking the door down to move up here to Fort Wayne. Now, that's not to say that Fort Wayne is not a good place to consider living. And in a minute here, I will elaborate on why I think Fort Wayne would be a good place for many people to move to. But first, I want to just give you guys some basic general pieces of information about Fort Wayne that I've researched. So anyhow, the crime in Fort Wayne is one good reason to move to Fort Wayne. I mean, you know, your violent crime, the average, your violent crime is around national average. And in many larger metro cities, such as Fort Wayne. Now, Fort Wayne is not a large metro city, but it is a major city here in the state of Indiana. And in many of your major cities, your crime is going to typically be well above national average. I would say in many of your major cities, your crime is going to be closer to double the national average. And even if that were to be the case, in many cases, that would still be considered good. Because you got major cities out here to where the crime is going to be 4 and 5 times the national average. Like off the top of my head, I think the violent crime in Indianapolis is, I want to say, double, if not more than double, the national average. In fact, let me look it up real quick. I just want to do a quick comparison here. So I'm gonna hop on my computer and look it up real quick. Yeah, the violent crime in Indianapolis is 63.4, which is almost triple, which is close to triple the national average. Now, the violent crime in Fort Wayne is 23.5. The national average is 22.7. So the violent crime in Fort Wayne, it's a hairline above the national average, but it's so close to the national average, I just say that the violent crime is national average, which is exceptionally good for a city the size of Fort Wayne. Now, property crime, it's, you know, it's a little above the national average. The national average is 35.4. The property crime in Fort Wayne is 48.1. So it's a little above the national average for property crime, which again, those are not bad numbers for a city the size of Fort Wayne. Now, in comparison, if you look at the property crime in Indianapolis, it's at a 66.9, which is close to double the national average. So, all in all, your crime in Fort Wayne is a lot lower compared to cities like Indianapolis. And there's also cities that are a little smaller than Fort Wayne, like down here in down in Alabama. You look at cities like Montgomery and Birmingham and Mobile, their crime numbers are higher considerably compared to Fort Wayne. So Fort Wayne is doing very good in terms of their crime, which is one reason right there to move to Fort Wayne if you're looking to live in a metro area here in the state of Indiana. Now, this city was built in 1974 by the USA Army under the direction of the American Revolutionary War General Anthony Wayne, hence the name Fort Wayne. And basically, when it comes to the economy of this city, I mean, this city, like many other cities in the Rust Belt parts of the Midwest, this city used to be a major industrial hub. A lot like cities like Toledo, Detroit, Cleveland, Akron, you know, cities like them. However, unlike a lot of these other cities in the Rust Belt, Fort Wayne has done a remarkable job of reinventing itself. Now, yes, there are still a fair amount of factory jobs to be had in this city. And Fort Wayne is still a blue-collar city. However, Fort Wayne has done a very remarkable job of bringing in a lot of other type of industries. So due to that, the economy of Fort Wayne has took a turn for the better over the last, I would say, 10 to 15 years or so. Because I would say about 20 years or so ago, Fort Wayne was basically the Indiana version of Toledo, or the Indiana version of Akron, Ohio. But Fort Wayne is doing so much better than Toledo and Akron. Because unlike Toledo, which, I mean, yeah, Toledo right now, as I speak, they're doing better than they've done before, because you got a lot of people that simply don't want to work and don't have to work, so they don't work. But even before the pandemic of 2020, Fort Wayne's economy has already took a turn for the better. Way more jobs to be had in Fort Wayne, and the infrastructure of Fort Wayne is so much better than, let's say, Toledo, Ohio. Now, I know there's certain people that live in Fort Wayne that are from Toledo, And there's probably a few people that live in Toledo that might watch this video and they're going to feel some kind of way because I'm trashing their city, but I really don't care. I mean, I lived in Toledo for a little under a year and I think the city's trash. I'm going to just say it, I'm going to say it straight like that. So I would say Fort Wayne is a type of city where if you're looking to move to Indiana and you're looking to live in a metropolitan area, you're looking to have larger city amenities, but you don't want to deal with some of the crime and riffraff of Indianapolis, I would say Fort Wayne would be a good place to come and live. Now, of course, you come here to Fort Wayne, since it is this far north, I mean, the climate up here compared to Indianapolis will be a little colder. And up here, you will get a little bit more snow. So if you don't mind colder temperatures in the winter, if you don't mind the snow, then this city would definitely be a good place to come and check out. It would be a wonderful alternative to places like Indianapolis. They have a significant issue with crime. And I'm not going to sit here and trash Indianapolis. Indianapolis has a lot of good attributes to it too, which at some point I will be doing another video of Indianapolis. Now obviously if you're from a trash city like Toledo and you're looking to move to another city with all the basic metropolitan amenities, come over here to Indiana. Come here to Fort Wayne. The economy here is a lot better. The infrastructure here is better. Your streets are better. Your neighborhoods are better. Your crime rates are significantly lower. And you don't got a bunch of streets that are full of potholes like you do in Toledo. So come check out Fort Wayne. For those of you that are living in trash cities like Toledo. And speaking of the economy here in Fort Wayne, some of the largest economies in Fort Wayne deal with distribution, transportation, logistics, healthcare, hospitality. Now, for those of you that have an education and you're looking to get a white-collar job, there's a fair amount of white-collar opportunities to be had here as well. And Fort Wayne has received the All-American City Award in 1983 and again in 1998 and once again in 2003. And as far as the racial makeup of this city, you got 68.3% white, 14.7% black, 4.3% Asian, 8.7% Hispanic. Those are the main racial groups that live in this city. Now I will be doing one more half-hour or so video of Fort Wayne. So stay tuned for that video. And on that video, I'm going to be doing more so. I'm going to be driving around the outskirts of Fort Wayne, just kind of showing you guys some of the outskirt parts of Fort Wayne. Some of the outskirt areas of Fort Wayne. Because the last several videos of Fort Wayne I've done were areas that were closer into town. And Fort Wayne's got some nice outskirt areas. So for those of you that don't want to live super close to the city, you prefer to live out a little bit, that video, which is coming up, will be for you. Now me personally, if Fort Wayne wasn't so, if this city wasn't located this far up north, I'm going to be honest, I would probably consider moving up here. Because I think this is a wonderful city to live. It has all your basic amenities. It has most of your larger city amenities. And like I said, the crime here is relatively low. Now, I know some of you that are natives of Fort Wayne, or you've been here for a substantial amount of time, you're going to tell me in the comment section that, oh man, I don't know what I'm talking about. You got people on this and that in the neighborhood out here shooting and just acting crazy. Now, you know, in a city this size, yes, there's going to be violent crime. Now, when I read the crime data about this city and I said that the crime rates here were low, I did not say Fort Wayne was crime free. I said the crime was low. So bear that in mind. I know that there's bad things that happen to this city. I mean, that happen in this city. I'm aware of some of the individuals that be out here robbing and shooting and gang banging and just doing things that they have no business doing. I'm aware of all that. But when you compare the crime in this city to the crime in many other cities of similar size, and again, to use Toledo, Ohio as an example, when you compare those two cities, you're going to have a lot more riffraff in Toledo, Ohio than you will here in Fort Wayne. You're going to have a lot more riffraff in Birmingham and Mobile, Alabama than you will in Fort Wayne. And also in Montgomery, Alabama too. So when I say that the crime here is low, in accordance to the crime rate in many of your other cities of this size or larger, the crime rate here is low. Take my word. You don't believe me? Hop in your car and travel around a little bit and you'll see what I'm talking about. But like I said, the reason why I wouldn't live here in Fort Wayne most likely is because it's too far north, and I'm not, you know, I have no desire to deal with super cold temperatures. I have no desire to deal with snow. That's why I decided to reside down in Alabama. And I come up here to Indiana to visit friends and family. I mean, I'm going to continue to say that Indiana as a whole is a wonderful place to live. Indiana has a lot of nice, small communities and cities, most of which are low in crime. Many of those areas have very affordable housing on top of that. And all these smaller cities are also within an hour of larger cities when it comes to the economy and job opportunities and amenities and stuff like that. So there's certain characteristics and you know, there's certain things about Indiana which I miss, which I wish was in Alabama, but it is what it is. But even though I decided to leave Indiana and live in Alabama, I'm gonna always talk good about Indiana, because I mean, Indiana's been good to me. Indiana has afforded me many opportunities that I wouldn't have had in many other states I lived in the past. So Indiana's a good place to live. I mean, like any other state, like most other states you go to, you know, it depends on what you're looking for in life. And obviously, you need to do your due diligence before moving somewhere. But I would say Indiana as a whole, it's a wonderful place to live. It's a wonderful place to raise family for those of you that got family, that got little ones. It's full of small communities. It's full of rural communities that are decent, that are low crime. And there's many of them that are within an hour of larger cities. And even some of your Indiana larger cities, I mean, many of these larger cities are full of opportunity. The infrastructure is decent. And I would say for those that want to live in a larger city, many of these larger Indiana cities are not bad places to live. And they also have relatively affordable housing. Way more affordable than other larger cities. So on that note, I'm gonna quit talking, and you guys enjoy the rest of this video, and stay tuned for my other Fort Wayne video. And until next time, everyone have a blessed one, and I'll see you on the next one.